Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Magic and Miracles, version of your life. My name is Anna, and I created Magic and Miracles with one purpose only to help individuals of all walks of life walks of life achieve their dreams and goals in manifestation. It's so important. All right. So, we're going to get into today's subject. I apologize in advance. I'm a little bit under the weather still, but bear with me, please. I didn't want to miss this one either, or as well as the Wednesdays ones. And I wanted to show up for my people, but I will be muting my coughing once in a while. There's a button that I got myself familiar with. We're going to talk about how to get a proposal by Christmas, okay, or Hanukkah if you're Jewish. But essentially, within a month, you could do this completely 100%. Now, let me tell you about my coaching very quickly. I do offer coaching, and I composed this coaching program. It took me 15 years to compose it. My own deep dive took place 15 years ago. And because I did it on my own without involving anybody else, simply because nobody else resonated with me, quite frankly, I tried therapists, I tried coaches, but nobody really resonated with me. So I did it on my own. I researched, I studied. I was really hungry for a change in my life. And what worked for me and what worked for many thousands of people, of me coaching them for the last 10 years. Okay, I've been coaching for 10 years total, 3 years on YouTube. And in particular, with the YouTube clientele, I developed a signature coaching package. Why? Because it's for somebody who doesn't have endless amounts of money, but yet wants to achieve maximum results in as short a period of time as possible. So the signature coaching package goes like this. First, we rendezvous over a 1 hour session, which is mandatory. Okay, we need to get together, we need to rendezvous and basically make sure that this is going to be a successful partnership, that there's resonance after you had made yourself familiar with my work. Okay. And I hear you out. I ask a lot of questions usually, and I do give you advice in that very hour. Now, upon completion of that hour, so even if you don't move forward after the hour, you walk away happy. Trust me. And if you take action on those suggestions, you will succeed. Okay, now if you don't take any action, that's entirely up to you. Upon conclusion of that hour, you need to sign up and purchase the signature coaching package. Why that is because there's only that many people that I can handle at the same time, coaching and doing a good job. And so if you are committing to me, then you need to do it straight away. Okay. Now, there's also a coaching package that is called Fully Loaded. It represents 3 months of the signature coaching package. I usually recommend 2 to 3, but if you feel like you might need three, and we can discuss certainly in the first hour session, this is also another reason why I prefer to do the mandatory session first. If you do that, there's an installment link, and you can arrange that. From what I understand, if you're going with this installment payments, it is a better idea to purchase more than 1 month at a time instead of purchasing 1 month at a time. Okay. From month to month, it's not as much of a beneficial agreement for you. The payments are not as manageable as when you purchase, let's just say, 2 or 3 months. So hopefully this makes sense. In addition to this, I incorporated two new packages which basically do the same exact thing, just slower. So it's called 6 months once a week, basically self-explanatory, and 12 months once a week. So this is so signature is 3 times per week. This is 1 time per week, once a week. So you understand the difference. The idea is, for me personally, if I was doing it, I would want to shock the belief system that I'm currently operating with, because chances are this belief system has really grown accustomed to you not doing anything about it. and really gotten comfortable with you. It's very dysfunctional, very toxic, yet there it is. So my preference, the way that I would do it, is to shock the system and do the signature. Now, if you cannot do it for whatever reason, something is better than nothing, especially in coaching with me. Trust me, you need to come prepared to work. There's no other way. I don't deal with people who just you're not going to succeed. All right, this is not going to be worth your investment if you don't show up with your part. So, nevertheless, if you prefer this pace, just understand the results will be slower. But again, if this is something that you prefer, 6 months or a year, or it's for somebody who just wants to stay on for that amount of time, because usually the pricing, the discount that I included, and this pace, I only used to give it to the clients that already completed my coaching, and it's a touch up situation. Okay. So, for all of these things that I just mentioned, when you book the hour, when you purchase it, reach out to me with your availability. Please send the coaching agreement afterwards. There's the instructions on the community board right there. You need to print the agreement, sign it by hand, scan it, and send it back to me as an attachment. That's the only way that I will accept it. All right. So if you have any questions, by all means, please reach out. So the topic of today is get a proposal by Christmas. So basically 30 days we're talking, more or less. Today is the 22nd of November. So look at this. Getting the proposal is the easiest part. Anybody can do it. Okay. I've been proposed to many times and been married twice. Okay. Until age 30. And then I said, maybe, maybe I want to do something else. It's very easy to manifest the proposal. I think the bigger question is if you see yourself with this person long term, or if you're acting out of desperation or some kind of other situation that's presenting to you. Maybe you're not happy at home with your parents, or whatever the case might be. I think we need to, what my point is that you really need to be honest about the motivation behind the manifestation. In other words, the kind of energy that you're showing up with to the manifestation. Is it strictly out of love towards this person? Right now, this parenthesis here, if you're not together with this person, will for sure, most definitely include the releasing of Mama Drama Panorama, yours and whatever happened between you guys. Okay, because the idea is to show up to the manifestation with a blank slate canvas to the best of your ability. Like, are you like completely going to be pure? No, nobody is. We're all kind of like masterpieces in progress. But to the best of your ability, the anger has to be relinquished, the resentment, whatever mama drama panorama happened between you has to be processed. So, this is where coaching comes in. And definitely, I want to emphasize one thing. You're not hiring a coach to teach you manifestation. You're hiring a coach to teach you manifestation in your case, okay, with your specific background. In other words, a coach, somebody who takes you through your mama drama panorama responsibly and really knows exactly what to do because they've done it themselves, and how to then disembark from that timeline and embark on a new one. It's an emotional process. We release a lot of emotions. When you change your emotional makeup, you change your world, you change your timeline. This is what the idea of coaching is to me. Anybody understands manifestation, you've heard it blue, blah, blue, 700 billion times. The idea is that number one, you resonate with the coach. Number two, they've done it themselves. That's a must. And number three is that they know exactly how to take you from point A to point B. Okay. So that's the deal. Now, back to the proposal. You need to start with love. I mean, every manifestation that you create, it doesn't matter what it is, a sum of money. This, by the way, can be applied to anything. Get a proposal from business partner or whatever. Get a proposal. Get somebody to come to you and propose something to you. Okay. That you've been wanting and this and that and the other. Now, It has to start with love. Why? Because if it's motivated by love, it will be easier for you to manifest. It's almost impossible to manifest. First of all, why are you manifesting this proposal? Well, hopefully to get married and stay married, right? So if you're coming in with anything but love, it makes no sense. So the primary aspect, you have to ask yourself, what energy am I coming in? Still have resentment. Do I really love this person? Or am I doing it for kicks? Which you can, but I don't know. I'm here for people who really want to get married, want to have children, have this red hot fairy tale, you know, with coupled with peaceful bliss. Okay, not just to get your kicks on somebody or to hurt somebody. Always be benevolent. So those two things, love and benevolence. Okay, always a must. So that's the question to ask from you. It's not a matter of can you get a proposal from this person, is why? What is the motivation? Okay. Is it that you really love the person, that you're motivated by love? Or it's just something that, I don't know, you feel lonely and you want to get married? So, this is a really, really important situation because this is the starting point. This will dictate whether you'll be successful or not, quite frankly. If you're motivated by love and benevolence, all doors are open to you. Okay, you don't mean harm to anybody, even if that person at the moment, guy or girl, are with a third party, quite frankly. Now again, for me, it's listen, if you're not doing any, if you're not invasive in the 3D, anything goes. You, in that sense, transporting yourself to a parallel timeline, parallel reality, however you want to say it, where those two people over there, your honey and the third party, they were going to split up any fucking way. Okay. You were just the catalyst, perhaps, for that timeline version, or what, however you want to put it. Okay. You showed up in the right timeline where you don't even need to explain to this guy or interfere or intersect or invade. It is understood that in that timeline, you both are married. You belong to be married. And again, I'm only going on the assumption that you want this one and only red hot fairy tale. Okay. So again, the third party is not an obstacle, it will be swept out of the way. So understand that before you even begin, this timeline, yes, exists. That it's already in their mind. Like you're not so original. You might think it's your desire. You're just inspired by whatever you're inspired in your life. Maybe you've never had this fairy tale before. Maybe you've never been married or married to the person of your dreams. Okay. But before you even began, that story existed. So you're not being so original. Like it's not such a big deal. Understand, listen, first of all, once you're married, I don't know if any of you been married, but I've been married twice. Yeah, the engagement is exciting, the wedding, whatever is exciting, but then it's real life. Okay? You really have to like this person for one. They have to be responsible with money and all this kind of jazz. I mean, reality hits pretty hard, like really straight away. So all of these things I'm saying because I really want you to approach it like it is real. It is real. It's not just the fucking ring. It's not just will you marry me? It's a life. It's a lifestyle. And it's normal because you're going to be seeing this fucker every single day. Okay, not fucker. This beautiful person, this beautiful SP of yours, right? I'm just poking fun as usual. You're going to see them every single day. It's going to be a normal situation. So I want you to really think of it in these terms. And then think, okay, do I really want this person? And would they really be so lovely to hang out with like all the time? So in that parallel timeline, I see it like this. I had this like vision before I came on, like hours before, but nevertheless, it's kind of like you've heard this analogy before. But I really want you to visualize it to make it easy for you to manifest and to understand how manifesting really works, like the mechanics. So, like, imagine you are the tower of power, and at any point in time, there are innumerable parallel timelines, parallel realities, and you can overhear all of them. So let's just say you're undecided. right? This usually happens when the person is undecided for whatever reason. Maybe they're making up their mind, whatever, whatever. And they're considering this, that, and yeah, it doesn't have to be this guy, just on any topic or girl. Um, and you're picking up on different frequencies, different realities. At least that's how I experience it. In one reality, you'll never get married. They will stay with the third party or whatever. In another reality, it's already going on, and you can overhear the conversations that you guys are having, right? Or kind of like be a witness to them, kind of like be there. And everything kind of in between. And you can overhear all of these realities simultaneously if you're undecided. The idea is to focus and zero in on the idea of, this is the reality I want, where they tell me, and here's where the specificity comes in, right? Out of the myriads of signals, once you make a choice, a decision, you need to come in with specificity. Okay, so if I'm getting engaged, if I'm getting this proposal from this person, it is literally as practical as, right? Who is proposing? Obviously, your SP. What kind of ring? Where? What are they saying to you? Or is there no ring? I don't know. Some people are so casual, they just want to do it everything casual. I don't know your situation, you know your situation. But whatever, I want to emphasize, whatever is most believable to you. In other words, if it's completely unbelievable to you that you haven't seen this SP, let's just say, I don't know, in months, maybe in years, I don't know. I get different people in my coaching. And all of a sudden, it's very hard for you. It's a stretch, to imagine that they'll show up at your door with, I don't know, a Tiffany ring or whatever. Okay. Then start with something smaller that leads to this proposal in the beginning, right? If it's a reconciliation, reconnection, maybe it's a text you start with, even "Hi, how are you?" Or maybe it's a conversation sometime down the road after you reconnect, where they're simply asking you, or maybe they apologize to you for something they've done in the past. I don't know the situation again. You know the situation. And then they simply tell you, how would you, did you think about settling down? Let's just say it's like this, you know? Again, depending on the situation, make it believable in your mind that this conversation is occurring right now. Okay, right now, right now. So maybe they come and tell you, well, it's so nice. It's nice to reconnect with you. Blah blah blah. Are you dating anybody? Were you thinking about settling down? Okay, and that maybe that's your manifestation. That's your cue that this is part of the right reality. Now, the other thing I really quick wanted to mention. Hold on one second. Sorry. Um. Okay. Let me just explain it correctly. The signs that you get in the reality that you occupy confirms that reality. In other words, if I am making a decision, I'm part of the reality that my SP and I were getting engaged in a month. I am only going to accept the signs and see the signs that confirm that engagement. In other words, I'm going to see ads for engagement rings, or I'm going to see ads for wedding gowns or wedding cakes, whatever, the places where somebody could get married. And I will only accept those signs as signs because in this reality, that proposal exists and is real and is true. How I start noticing that I'm not part of that reality anymore, if the signs start presenting to me something different. I really hope that I'm explaining it correctly enough, because this is so important. Not all signs are equal in that sense. In other words, if you're in a shitty reality, right? And you feel like shit, that's how you usually know that you're in a shitty reality. And you get a confirmation or a sign of something that is displeasing to you. That's only the confirmation that is only the truth in that reality. Does it make sense? That only applies to that reality. In other words, if you see a sign that whatever, you happen to be in a shitty mood and you see a confirmation that you guys are not supposed to be together, understand that's part of that reality only. And you don't have to accept that. In that sense, you choose every second, every millisecond of the day, which timeline, which reality you're going to be a part of. So it's only like it's what I said in one of my audios, recent audios. I get to decide what applies to me. If I don't like some kind of a sign, it doesn't apply to me. I get to interpret reality and therefore choose the timeline however I please. Now, that doesn't mean I'm completely fucking delusional, okay? And cannot, like, detect reality like I'm in a la la land somewhere. But the signs and the confirmations are, this is very much accurate. And I've tested this in my own personal life and my clients alike reported back to me. The signs are the artifacts that you're bringing back from that particular reality. That's all that it is. If the sign is pleasing to you, accept it. If it's not pleasing to you, don't accept it. Just like that. Again, nothing to do with like paying bills or, you know what I mean, harming others. Like that's not up for negotiation. There's certain things like common sense and understood. But other than what is going to happen in this reality, what is the destination, the prediction, only you can choose the prediction and destination. Only you can reinterpret that reality or that sign, or not interpret it at all and leave it the fuck be over there. Okay. So be specific. Now, after you're specific, and you can design a scene and all this jazz, but you have to be like literally like a grocery list. This is what I mean, you can even go so far as predict what they're gonna wear. I mean, you script life is scripted. I've yet to share a really powerful experience that occurred to me, not the day that I was describing, but another really fucking powerful experience that when it's time I can discuss. It's a little too personal, so I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to talk about it. When I'm ready, I will. But it was a really, really fucking powerful reminder that everything is scripted, but everything. And you know well ahead of time what is going to happen in this reality. Now, when you're consistently choosing a timeline, that's what I'm talking about. When you're kind of still confused and you yo-yo or whatever, however they call it, slightly different for me, okay, because it's inconsistent. But when you are consistent, you can for sure predict with 100% accuracy what's going to happen. So in that sense, you're scripting it all. So in the case of proposal, go for it. Why not? Why not decide it ahead of time? What they're gonna wear, what they're gonna say, the kind of ring, tupachu, tupachu, tupachu. In fact, that's your responsibility. If you don't decide, then how are you going to get what you want? Kind of situation. After you're done deciding, plant the idea in their mind. Now, again, it doesn't matter like what is the current situation right now, as long as you approach it with love. Okay, as I started out saying. In other words, you haven't seen this guy or girl, they ghosted you, whatever the situation, provided they were not abusive. Okay, go listen to my latest audio. It's not your job to change abusive people. Really, really not. That audio came out really good. And then forgot to mention for those new ones, big thumbs up and big subscribe. And those rewatching, big thumbs up. Where was I? Plant the idea in their mind. Every time you're thinking about this person, send them the thought of, I know you're going to marry me. I know you want to marry me. Now, it doesn't matter. Again, doesn't matter where they are. They could be on the fucking moon. But if every single time you're thinking about this person, you're thinking of them as them wanting to marry you, this is the telepathic connection that you have to that timeline where, again, it was already in their mind. You're just discovering this timeline for yourself, in fact. It feels like your decision, but everything it already exists in that sense. So you can join that timeline any fucking time you want. Okay, provided you part again with your mama drama panorama. So I made myself laugh earlier. Somebody told me back the phrase in my session. Anyway, so whatever your mind will accept and planting the idea, you need to declare it. You need to declare it to them. You need to declare it to you. Like, I'll give you an example very quickly from my personal life. And of course, this goes back to like, I was married at 19, and I already knew my power. By then, my first boyfriend being total, I mean, a lunatic over me, in fact, a little too much, but I kind of left that alone and still knew the kind of power I had. And very kind of lightheartedly, when I first met my first husband, like I'm telling you, within an hour of meeting him, for whatever reason, right? I thought to myself, you're gonna marry me. Just like that. I don't know where it fucking came from. I really don't know. But he ended up proposing to me like 2 months later, something very quick. Okay. And I was like, are you sure? Like, we're so young. And he was only like, I don't know, 6 years older than me, or like in his 20s. We're both kind of kids, you know? I even realized it back then. Like, and he was like totally like smitten, kind of really like on it. And I was like, well, here it is. Like I declared it just totally lightheartedly. So whatever shape or form, like I'm not into like as a for instance, I'll give you how I coach is very straightforward, very simple. A child can do it. Okay. I'm not into 10,000 affirmations. I'm not into really sophisticated affirmations and endless repetitions. I just need one reminder what I'm doing. Okay. You're a busy person, I would hope or assume. That is, I'm a busy person. I don't have time to recite endless situations. Yes, do the work. Like in coaching, we do it inside out, upside down, all around. Okay. In that sense, reworking everything. But at some point, when you have the manifestation already worked out and you know exactly what you're doing, the declaration is like, you want to marry me. That's it. What else is there to say? Now, behind it is the feeling again of like, this is so normal. This is so normal. And I am in a position to commend you. Now, this is the other thing with people pleasers that they're afraid. It's such a funny thing with people pleasers that they're almost afraid to use this power. Use this again, as long as you're benevolent and doing it with love and you really mean to do it. Like you could do anything, right? So remember that. Do you really mean to do this? Understand that one affirmation, if you want to call it that, I call them declarations, is enough to start planting the idea in that guy's or girl's mind. Why? Because it's very easy to remember. It represents an idea that you really love them. They're really cute, whatever you really particularly like about them. And there's a certain emotion underneath it, like there's a satisfaction of some kind. There's peace comes over you, right? Finally, I'm going to have my fairy tale and it's going to be wonderful. And you're going to start receiving these emotions. The emotional downloads are going to start pouring down from the universe. And it's going to be almost impossible to stop this process if you're consistent enough and don't, how can I say, don't stop yourself. Hold on, I got a cough. One sec. Sorry about that. I muted it. Here's the thing that I wrote down, and I should have started with that. Sorry, one sec. I apologize. I would rather you not listen to it. I'll edit it out later. Number one, focus, right? So pick the idea out of the myriads of possibilities. Have to love the idea. We already discussed it. Part was self-loathing. I thought was a nice touch. And then receive. I think the barricade, the so-called barricade that a lot of people are talking about is that, wow, am I really worthy of this proposal? Why the fuck wouldn't you be? I think the idea is if you would like to agree to that, not like, ooh, I'm receiving a proposal. I want you to start looking at it differently. Would I be agreeing to that? Like, would it suit me? Like, it's already a given. Just it's a guarantee. I'm telling you, it is. Okay, no matter who it is. Okay, even if it's a celebrity and all this, don't matter. There's human also. Do you really want and to marry them? And that's where it all starts. And your subconscious mind, so-called subconscious mind, will not let you proceed into scenarios if you really are not letting yourself have it because you're in the process of not loving yourself, or if this person, truth be told, is really not good for you. All right. I've been there. Okay. I've talked myself into, okay, several relationships in the past where, truth be told, you know what, could have lived without that shit. Simply because, like a lot of you, I was lonely, I was lost, I didn't know my true self, I didn't know I was the golden Buddha, so I just accepted whatever came. That is not the scenario you want to go into when you're marrying somebody. Marriage is a fucking contract, first of all. Take it from me. You want to make sure you seal the deal with the loveliest people of all, somebody you can trust and feel good about. Okay? So this is really important to consider. So you putting yourself in the power position, not the other person. You're in fact letting them propose to you, kind of situation. You've decided on the ring. I'm so serious when I tell you it's not well, it does sound a little bit like you're being a puppeteer, but not really. Because you're really just acting again out of love and benevolence. So declaring it into the universe, into the quantum field, will manifest it like one, two, three. If you just the lightest touch, okay, I forget who said that. Maybe it's in the Bible. I don't know. Maybe it's Neville. Just one time, come to the table with the right energy, with the right intention, visualize the proposal and say, you want to marry me. And then if all you do after that, seriously now, if all you do after that is just as long as you think of them, you're thinking positive thoughts. I mean, I think that goes without saying, positive thoughts, and that your destination is marriage with this person. That's it. In other words, you're not fucking worried for 1 second if there's still a third party or if you're still not together tomorrow. It doesn't change jack. You're married. That's it. And again, I want to say this like, it's not an Oscar, okay, the marriage ring. It's a contract. It's a partnership. So while you're thinking it's some kind of like, I don't know, a gold star on your homework, it is not. You need to consider these things like this is the real deal partnership. This is a partner, and it's matters a lot, okay, who you marry. It's gonna have a reflection on your business or your career, your finances, your mood. Okay, so in fact, it's not about them. You're making all the decisions. Yes, you are being a puppeteer, but very benevolently, mind you, in the most benevolent sense of the word, because you're choosing a partner based on good ideas, good values, as it were, not out of desperation. If you're trying to manifest this out of desperation, listen, you might, okay, you might manifest the proposal any fucking way. What I'm saying to you though is that the version that you will manifest in that person and in that marriage is not going to be anything you want to live out. Okay, trust me when I'm telling you. Okay, let's keep going with my notes. Sorry, 1 second. This is how I drink coffee now. Don't ask me why. The commitment. Once you declare it, it's a commitment thing. Like again, everything that I've said up until now, you've thought about it. You gave it good thought. You made these healthy choices for yourself. And when I hear in my coaching, why wouldn't they commit? Well, darling, are you committed? Is the question, really, right? Are you committed to this idea, or are you wishy-washy? Are you lukewarm, or are you desperate, or this kind of situation? Are you really committed to accepting this person as your husband or as your wife? That's it. Because once it clicks in, we're married. I don't have anything else to do here. I'm gonna see them coming to propose to me whenever I feel like it. That's another thing. Don't ever do it as a chore. Do it only when you're inspired, when you're feeling good. It's not a homework to do, okay? It's something you're working with energy. Just remember that. If nothing else, remember this. You're working with energy, the kind of energy you show up with for the manifestation and how you direct it thereafter. That's the result that you will receive. The energy that you will send out whilst you doing whatever practice, or whilst, I've been pronouncing this word incorrectly. I apologize to all the Brits. Sincerely. Whilst what was I saying? Whilst you're practicing your visualization or your scenes or whatever it is, scripting to bachu, this energy has to be totally full of love, full of adoration in the most benevolent sense, not in a fanatic, obsessive way, but very kind of like peaceful, obsession, but in a lovely kind obsession. Like I adore you kind of obsession. I can't wait to spend my life with you. And you would be such great fun to have around. I mean, make sure this guy or girl is fun to be around, all right? That you can hang with them, for the lack of better verbiage, all right? So, commitment. You yourself need to be committed. So, plant the idea in their mind and supporting the idea with action. In other words, if you're still dating around, maybe you shouldn't be. Maybe you should not be on that app. Okay. If I'm engaged or expecting an engagement, I'm not going to be spreading myself around. This is a confirmation to the universe that I'm already engaged. I'm mimicking that timeline, that reality where what the fuck am I doing dating around if I'm engaged to this guy or girl? Right? So that's the deal. But let me just stay on this idea for a second. The planting of the idea, like this is something to be massaged over and over. And let me make this clear. It's not so much that you're massaging, again, the idea in their mind. You're massaging it for your own mind to accept it. Like, yes, this could be this easy. This could literally happen to me like to the next person. Again, in my coaching, I hear stories, from women in particular. Everybody's getting married around me, everybody's getting engaged. All right, it can happen to you too. And it's easier than you realize. So it's the whole massaging when you as you're planting the idea in their mind, you're in fact absorbing that idea yourself. Because once it clicks in with you, like, yeah, without a doubt, this guy or girl, it's like you can overhear their thoughts because now you're so aware of what you're thinking of them. Meaning, if you're thinking of them there's not a scintilla of a doubt in your mind anymore. If there has ever been, that this person is totally fucking smitten with you, even if you haven't seen them at a distance, years, months, boo, 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 you've reconciled it in your own mind that they want to marry you. It makes no fucking sense. It doesn't logically, but you know the telepathy factor and you know the energetic factor. Therefore, if you've convinced your mind, they're convinced. Trust me, like when you have this trust, this telepathic trust with the universe, and you'll see the signs showing up, you'll see all of this, you're just gonna have to know. And this is what I call knowing. Like I was discussing this on my predecessor channel. By the way, I forgot to mention that. Um, the link is below. um Knowing, you arrive at the knowing, like I know my name, what they're thinking right now, because I've constructed it myself, this idea. Not so much constructed because it already existed. I've just married the idea, I've absorbed the idea, and now it's like I can hear this reality. It's kind of like how we started. The radio signal is pure, and now I'm aligned only with one version of a person who wants to, in fact, marry me. And I can overhear their fucking thoughts that was feeding them to begin with. You see how it works? It's a little bit of a mind fuck, but kind of makes it easy. You just need yourself. Okay. You don't need to do anything in the 3D. So then I'll give you a couple of things, couple of methods to do. Making it normal. So this is one of my favorite things with anything, just SPs or anybody really. If you're having a conversation, if you bring their hologram in, I believe I've discussed this already, either on this channel or the predecessor channel. You bring their hologram in. I mean, you literally, what you do is you visualize them. Like I can sit here right now and I can visualize anybody sitting with me having a conversation. And of course, it's usually best done when you're alone. Okay, so nobody calls the hospital. Okay. And you start having a conversation with them, ideally out loud or mentally. Okay. Um, and you go about talking about regular things. What do you want to have for dinner? What should we do about this? Like you already living this life. There's a parallel reality right here in the room with you. I mean, depending where you're going to be living together, but nevertheless, they could be having a conversation wherever with you about this something that is completely ordinary. These conversations. When you get up in the morning, as you brush your teeth, talk about what are we going to do this weekend? Do you want to go see whatever the Rockefeller tree light up and things like that? All right, kind of situation. So it becomes a normal process of connecting telepathically with them, having these conversations that I'm telling you, these conversations will replicate themselves. One way or another, they will come and literally you will fuse with this reality where this conversation already is occurring. It's like I see it like I don't know, a vibrating wave, and you fuse with it, okay, and you start overhearing the conversation, and then and you fuse with it, and then now you're experiencing it, and it'll be so freaky to you. Like again, as I said before, the recent experience that I've had that was so freaky, I know that I've lived it before, okay? Because parenthesis here, your soul has already lived out all parallel reality, is aware of all parallel realities, parallel timelines. It will feel familiar, not just because you predicted it by designing it in your mind, but it will also feel familiar because your soul was already aware of it even before you chosen it. Okay. So talking to them daily is in fact predicting your conversations with that person, and at the same time influencing, in quotations, their mind. You're influencing their mind, okay, at a distance, all the while massaging your own mind, as we said, into accepting this idea. Yes, this is as normal, as natural as we're sitting here talking about what do you want to have for dinner kind of situation. What do you want to do this weekend? And make it a regular situation completely. Now, my other favorite thing, and this works without fail, whether that's a person or you buying a house or whatever the fuck, okay? Getting items that otherwise would not be there had they not been already with you. So let's just say for ladies, if you're married, you have their items around you. You have their shaving cream or I don't know, deodorant or boxers, even I don't know, whatever, right? You live together. Of course, there are items around that belong to them, and the same for gentlemen. Like maybe it's I don't know, a silk robe, or I don't know, stuff they love to eat is in the fridge. Okay, this is so powerful because especially in the morning when you wake up, and let's just say you look in the medicine cabinet and there it is. There's their, I don't know, some men's cologne, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm married. The first thing in the morning, your subconscious mind is hit with the first impression of like, oh shit, I'm married. I forgot. Or whatever it is. But first, like usually the bathroom is the first thing that people see, right? Right after their bed, exiting their bed. And so plug that there, put that there, okay? Plug the thing, the perfume, the cologne, the silk robe. I don't give a shit what it is, as long as it makes an impression on your mind. Like I'm not alone. I'm not alone. There's somebody here. They're living with me, and it's a romantic relationship because it's a guy or a girl, or maybe it's same sex, whatever you're into. But the thing is, I'm here. I've arrived, kind of situation. Um, the obvious thing, okay? And This works very powerfully, by the way, and this again, provided you really love this guy and or girl, um, can work really magically because universe does not take jokes. It just does not. It's a copying machine. It's like you go shopping for that wedding cake, okay? Because they're like in New York. I don't know where you guys live, but all over the world, I'm sure the same is true. You can go and request like an order of samples of wedding cakes that a bakery offers and sample those fucking cakes. All right. Get into the mood of I'm planning the wedding. Like, what's the song we're gonna dance to? How is my dress going to look like? Where we're gonna get married? I'm sure your mind starts working in that timeline. You start occupying yourself instead of spying on them on social fucking media. You're planning your life. That's what a golden Buddha does. Fly above it all and start incorporating these actions like, I'm not joking here. This is really what I want. I want to be married to this person, and here's how the shit is going to go down. Okay. Again, specificity and scripting. You're essentially deciding ahead of time, this is how it's going to go. It's a very practical situation manifestation. You're all the time, you're acting on a certain timeline, certain reality, certain personality. That's all there is to it. If you ever find yourself in a desperate situation, just understand if you're acting desperate, you're part of the desperate timeline. Stop acting desperate, take an action that is not inspired by desperation, but in fact by knowing that you already have your something or someone or whatever the fuck it happens to be. You're there. You just plugged yourself in into this timeline. Now just listen for the inspiration and look for the signs then. Okay? Don't look for the signs when you're upset. You're going to get shitty signs. All right, there. I said it better than the first time around. I was looking for my mojo there. Um this is how you control the narrative by becoming yourself the person. I'm already married. I'm planning my wedding. I'm tasting cakes. I'm shopping for that wedding gown. Literally, the very act of going and trying on a wedding gown can change your fucking life. I'm so serious when I say this to you. You somehow emotions come over you like, I feel like I'm already there. This act of you want to call it acting in faith, act as if, pretending. It just fuses you with that parallel timeline where the universe is like, oh shit, they're serious about this. Okay. Think about how many examples, even in like show business where I believe Eminem, not for nothing, this is the darkest kind of example that's coming to me right now. Eminem predicted Proof, I think his name is, the rapper, death in the video. They shot a video pretending that he was gonna get killed, and he got killed exactly the same way that the video predicted. So you understand what I'm saying now. I know it was gruesome of an example, but you are constantly becoming part of the reality that you yourself are scripting and predicting and acting on it. When you're acting on it, and especially if you're acting as if or acting in faith, it's game over, man. It's game over. The universe is like, all right, you got it. Because now you become part of that timeline. There's no more jokes in that sense. Okay. So I discussed, my most favorite, as it happens to be for a lot of my clients, is the playlist. This is mega powerful. I can't listen, music is powerful. What can I say? You create a playlist that emotionally, we're looking for emotion here, unless you haven't caught up already. Emotion that, like, I'm at peace, I got what I want, I got my husband, I got my wife, everything is chill and wonderful. Okay, I'm so blissfully happy, I'm so satisfied. Okay, so if you create a playlist, and everybody's different, and please make sure the lyrics match what you want to manifest. That's another thing that I would say. But you're looking for emotion. How would you feel being proposed to? There's a really beautiful composition by Hans Zimmer, by the way, called "Marry Me." Beautiful, beautiful. It's from the Caribbean. What is it called? Johnny Depp's former gig, Pirates of the Caribbean. It's a gorgeous composition. Go listen to it. I would listen to that. okay, when I had my playlist. There were many other things on the playlist, but you create your playlist that emotionally moves you to tears, and you can literally with ease connect to the wedding day, the first kiss, when they say kiss the bride, or whatever, whatever religion you're part of. However, the ceremony, the procedure, you can see your family, you can see their family putting the rings, and this kind of see you need to get into the feeling, like, so the you have, like, shivers down your spine. You're looking to achieve that emotion of, like, shit, this is going to become real. I can feel it with every fiber of my being right now. This is the emotion that is going to overturn worlds. It doesn't matter what fucking third party they're with right now, I guarantee it. This kind of energy, this kind of emotion is potent as fuck. And notice, like, you're not sending it out with force, you're not twisting anybody's arm. You literally just emotionally joining that timeline where that has already played out. You're just rewatching it as a movie in your mind. You're just making yourself, acquainting yourself with what's about to come. All right. Well, my cough, I think, went away. I belong talking in public. That's as much as possible. That's where I'm happiest. Inspiring people. This method, okay? And then I'm going to leave you with the last method. You guys going to have a blast. Now, okay, let me explain it correctly again. Hold on. Now that I said it, I need to cough. Hold on one sec. Apologies. When you plant the idea into their minds and you've worked it out and this and that, another way of keep it consistent and to not control the narrative, but be in charge of the narrative, let's just say. Because control, I don't know, there is an implication of, like, I don't know, being malicious or something. But being in charge of the narrative, because you're in charge of your life. I like this softness more. Um See yourself through their eyes. In other words, as they are observing you, like, put yourself in their body, right? And let's just say right now, I don't know, maybe it's a coworker, or maybe it's a neighbor, or maybe it's somebody you know, or maybe it's whatever, or maybe it's a friend currently. But there's interaction, or maybe even at a distance they view you. However, whatever the situation, see yourself how you want them to see you, meaning, like, as they are observing you, either directly or at a distance, what are their thoughts, what are their feelings? Feel it for them, like, literally get inside their body. Okay, it's not witchcraft, it's just you're using this exercise to really just maneuver your mind to accept it, that this is reality. And it's a fun game to play. See yourself how they would see you. Oh, there goes my wife, my future to be wife, okay, to be wife. Or there goes my future husband, kind of deal. And say the nicest things about yourself. So, I mean, two things are accomplished. One thing is that you're accepting that you're going to be definitely married to this person. But another thing is, like, not for nothing, but the self loathing goes away. Okay. You really need to come in with self love here. No more self loathing. No more barricading yourself from your happiness. No more barricading from your manifestation. I'm telling you, this is mad easy. Getting the proposal is the easiest part. Maintaining this kind of narrative, they're crazy about me and I deserve it, is what really will make this sustainable. Okay? Because once you get there, you're married, hoopla. Okay, now what? Are we going to be freaking out every 5 minutes still? Or are we just going to peacefully accept that this is my fucking life now? How you like me now? I overcame my fucking obstacle of self loathing and not accepting that I belong to be happy too. Because literally, I'm telling you guys, this is all that's separating you from that proposal right now. It's not about repetition, it's just about acceptance. I accept to be married to this guy. I accept that they're adoring me. And so, this exercise, when they're watching you, observing you, not in a creepy way, okay, not in a stalking way, But when they're looking at you or when they're talking to you, what is going on in their mind? You get to decide that. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You decide everything in your reality that is directly affecting the quality of your life. And this right here, the personal relationships, you for sure get to decide. Okay. Provided, again, I want to stress, just like I said in the audio about abusive people, provided you want to mingle yourself with their energy. People, for me, who are toxic and destructive are like black holes. Any energy that you will invest into changing them, I see it as like energy gone into nothingness. Okay. So I just want to make the distinction when I create this separation between abusive people and between people that you actually want to be around. All right. So seeing yourself through their eyes. Now, the last method I already discussed on my previous channel, but let me tell you something that it works like magic. All right. Other than the magic spells, which, by the way, there's a package on my website called The Magic Spells, How to Write a Magic Spell. You're welcome to check it out. It's audio recordings. Literally, what magic means is a really powerful intention. A really powerful intention that is like a magic spell, but there's no witchcraft involved. It's very much part of scripting, preparing your energy, everything more or less what I just explained to you. Okay. But the last method, I stumbled upon it in experimenting myself when I was, I don't know, 17 actually. And it has to do with climaxing. Now, hear me out, okay? Because it has worked for me beautifully, especially when it comes to romantic relationships, as you would assume. Something happens when your body climaxes. We're talking about an orgasm, unless somebody's, kind of like not sure yet. In that moment when you're releasing all of this energy, it's like you can create a really powerful manifestation. So if your mind is able to focus on that something, on that proposal or whatever they're telling you, and as you're releasing this energy, you can visualize it or tap in into that or direct that energy towards them. Forget everything else, just direct that energy towards them. This is how you feel about me too. Not just sexual. This is not just sexual. I just want to make it clear. It's about the energy, the kind of energy again you're approaching. And when this much energy, euphoria in this case, is released, this is really powerful energy that you can use to influence somebody at a distance or connect to the version that feels just as euphoric about you. All right? Couldn't have said it any better. Now, you might be like thinking I'm joking here or like, poking fun. Not at all. Okay, I've tried it with people, I've tried it with money, with circumstances. It works every single time. Why? Again, the explanation is the energy itself dictates the potency and the quality of energy translates in the quality of manifestation. Simple like that. Has nothing to do with sex. It just it happens to be when you climax that all of this energy is released, and if you direct it towards a manifestation, it's bound to happen. All right. All right. Any questions, guys? Who is this? I don't recognize this person who left me a heart, but heart right back at you. Doesn't say a name there. Um. All right. Just to summarize, okay. It's all about the energy that you approach this with. You approach it with desperation, no good. You need to show up with love. And listen, not for nothing, not to be like a broken record, but just kind of like true to what I teach. You cannot create anything good from a place of desperation. You need to process the mama drama panorama, show up full of love, full of light, full of happiness yourself, and then influence this person to give you whatever. They will be the nicest husband or the nicest wife because of what kind of energy you bring to the table. So it's like the entirety of time, all these fun things I gave you, you're working on yourself, in fact, to make this, hi Jenny, to make this a situation for yourself acceptable and fun. And therefore, what's the big deal? Like, what is the big deal situation kind of deal? This person is lucky to have me. See, it shifts from, oh my God, I'm trying to get a proposal out of them versus they're dying to propose to me. Come on, let's be real here now. Like, after all of these situations, you come to this conclusion, as you should, which is not arrogant, not narcissistic, but really just knowing who you are. Like, please. Yes, of course you want to marry me because I want to marry you. It's automatic. Again, not in a domineering, not in a God complex way, but I know that you want to marry me because I myself am on the timeline and I am of the energy that we're married. So we're married. I guess we're married. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching and showing up. And those who are rewatching, big thumbs up, big subscribe. Just want to reiterate, to be in my coaching, you need to first book a 1 hour session. During that session, we discuss everything. I give you advice, as much as I can during the hour. The idea is to embark on the path of booking the coaching package right after the session, to commit, as it were. In that sense, first come, first serve. Okay. I only can handle that many people to be productive and do the good job that I really, kind of pride myself in doing. I'm very meticulous, very thorough. So you need to commit right after, whether that's month to month or you purchase several months together, up to you, whether that's the signature or the 6 months once a week or 12 months once a week. We could talk about it. But the idea is to really understand this is going to be a journey that will require you to show up and do the work as well. Once and for all, to complete the cycle, part with the cycle of I don't get proposals, I don't get text messages. Cut two, I'm the golden Buddha. It's easy for me. I understand my power. I'm never again going to be lost. All right. So if you have any questions prior, and please don't forget to sign the coaching agreement. If you have any questions prior to booking the 1 hour session, by all means, please reach out. The emails are below. Okay. Thank you, everybody. And big kiss and happy weekend. Ciao, cacao. Bye bye.